Welcome to the Elite Leader Insights podcast. We explore leadership lessons straight from the Elite Leader Insights newsletter, written by Donald C. Kunkel Jr., founder of the Elite Leadership Center.
And today we're digging into edition 23. It's titled, When Favoritism Fails, the Cost of Playing Favorites.
Yeah, and favoritism. It's tricky, isn't it? It's often subtle. It rarely kind of shouts its name.
Exactly, but the effects, they're definitely felt deeply across teams.
We're talking about those consistent patterns, right? Where maybe the same few people always seem to get the good projects or the access, or maybe just the benefit of the doubt.
And even if the leader doesn't mean to play favorites, that pattern, it just slowly eats away at trust. It can damage credibility.
And really unravel the team culture you've worked so hard to build.
Totally.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack Donald C. Kunkel Jr.'s insights on this. We'll look at some research, a personal lesson he shared, and then some practical ways to actually combat it.
Sounds good. Where should we start? The research.
Yeah, let's start there, because the data is pretty eye-opening. There's research. Matta and colleagues back in 2015 found something really key.
Which was?
It's the perception of favoritism. Not necessarily the leader's actual intent, but just if people think it's happening.
Ah, okay. So what the team sees.
Exactly. And that perception alone, it leads to significantly lower job satisfaction, reduced team cohesion too.
And I bet higher turnover intention, people thinking about leaving.
You got it. Just the belief that favoritism exists is enough to really damage morale.
And that links to other research too, right? Pilmer and Rothbard in 2018 talked about workplace friendships. Even those natural connections, if they look like privileged access or influence, well, they can create these imbalances.
Right, so a leader doesn't even have to do anything technically wrong.
No, not at all. It's about how things appear, how they're perceived by the wider team. It really makes you rethink fairness.
It does. And this ties into a really humbling lesson Kunkel shared from his early Air Force career.
Oh yeah, the golden child story.
That's the one. He found himself getting picked for all these high-priority tasks, special training, big opportunities.
But he wasn't asking for it, was he?
No, not at all. He was just, working hard, showing initiative, doing what he thought was right.
But the result?
The result was he got nicknamed the golden child. And underneath the surface, resentment started brewing.
Because others felt overlooked. Or like they were picking up the slack.
Precisely. He was getting the spotlight, the development, which was great for him, but the team felt disconnected. They questioned if his recognition was truly earned or just preference.
And his big realization from that?
It was profound. Recognition without rotation creates resentment.
Wow. That really hits home. It's not just about giving recognition, but how it's spread around.
Exactly. And this whole idea directly undermines what Kunkel calls the 5 foundations of influence. Let's maybe walk through those quickly.
Good idea. So first up is trust.
Yeah. If recognition or opportunities seem inconsistent, people just stop believing the system is fair. Trust evaporates.
Then there's emotional intelligence. This is about the leader's self-awareness, isn't it?
Totally. Knowing who you naturally gravitate towards, who gets the benefit of the doubt, who you include. Without that awareness, you have blind spots.
And communication. Favoritism shows up there too. Who gets the inside scoop? Who gets honest feedback? Who's left out of the loop?
It's often unspoken, but everyone notices, which hammers credibility.
Right. If your standards seem to shift depending on who you're dealing with, your consistency goes out the window, and so does your credibility.
And finally, adaptability.
Yeah.
If you keep relying on the same, say, 2 or 3 people,
you narrow your perspective, you miss out on other ideas, other strengths within the team. It stifles innovation.
Okay, so we see the problem. It's subtle, it's damaging. How do leaders actually address this without, making everyone walk on eggshells?
Kunkel offers some practical steps. First, he says, audit your time and attention. Like literally look at who gets your feedback, your coaching time, your visibility.
And ask yourself why, right? Is it genuine merit or just familiarity? Comfort.
Exactly. Be honest with yourself. Then, if someone does get a special assignment, explain the why publicly.
Transparency. That protects your credibility.
Definitely. And then be intentional about distributing tasks. Not just the grunt work, but the stretch assignments too.
Rotate those growth opportunities among different people. High performers, quiet contributors.
Yes. Mix it up. Spread the development. And crucially, create structural fairness. Have clear, objective criteria for things like promotions, key projects, development tracks.
And stick to them.
Stick to them. Consistency is key.
Kunkel also mentions assessment tools like the TECCA Influence system as a way to get objective data on this.
Yeah, tools like that can help leaders see their own patterns, those potential blind spots, and understand how their decisions, even the small ones, shape the culture, sometimes unintentionally.
That's maybe the most important point Kunkel makes. You don't have to be a bad leader to fall into this trap.
No, it's often unintentional, but awareness is the crucial first step.
Because, as he says, what you don't address, you reinforce.
And what you reinforce becomes culture. The real cost isn't just about the favorite. It's about the hit to trust, morale, and the whole team's potential.
Such a critical insight. Favoritism erodes trust, definitely. But that self-awareness, that builds influence. It starts with seeing the patterns before they become these ingrained blind spots.
So maybe a thought for everyone listening. Think about your own team or organization. Is there an area where perceived favoritism might be subtly playing out? And if so, what's just one small thing you could do? Maybe introduce a bit more rotation or bring a little more transparency to how decisions are made.
Great challenge. And if you want to go deeper with Donald T. Kunkel Jr.'s frameworks, you can.
Right, you can take the TECCA Influence Assessment.
Yep. Find out your TECCA Power Profile at foundationsassessments.com or check out his book, The Foundations of Influence, over at eliteleadershipcenter.com for more on trust, communication, all that good stuff.
Excellent resources.
It really comes down to leading with intention. And that always starts with awareness. Thanks for tuning in.